Hello everyone, it's Stella.
And Tarrant here from Meeple University. Today we'll be teaching you how to play The Witcher Old World, game designed by Łukasz Wozniak and published by CD Projekt Red and Go On Board.
Let's get to the game.
Set in the world of Andrzej Sapkowski's The Witcher fantasy series and serving as a prequel to CD Projekt Red's video game series, The Witcher Old World sees players competing as witchers, racing to collect trophies. Players will explore and gamble to gain the resources they need to level up their attributes and decks, readying themselves for the fights which will earn those trophies. The first player to gain 4 trophies, including a decisive fight, will win the game. I won't take you step by step through setup, but I'll show you what it will look like after setup and introduce you to some of the components. Each player will have a Witcher board, showing the colour and icon of that Witcher's school. You'll have some trophies in your colour. These are trophies which other players will be able to win from you in battle. You'll have a starter deck of 10 cards, and each of these cards will show your school in the top right. These markers will track the levels of each of your attributes, and they all begin at 1, except in the 4 or 5 player game where you'll be able to increase one of these 4 attributes just to give you a little bit of a head start. All players have combat, defense, and alchemy, and each player has a unique specialty in the 4th column. This column is the overall level of your Witcher, and this column is your shield level. This will tend to go up and down quite a lot during combat. Your starting gold and starting hand size depends on your position in turn order and your player count. Your Witcher will have a mini and matching coloured base ring, ours have been painted, and you'll start on the location which shows the icon of your school. All players' markers begin at 0 on the trophy track. On and near the board you'll find all of the various cards and tokens that you'll need to play the game, and we'll introduce those as we work through the rules. The main part important for the game's setup context is here. Here you'll have 3 level 1 monsters, 1 in forest, 1 in water, and 1 in mountains. You'll have drawn a matching location token to determine where the monster is, and placed its hexagonal token there on the map. The Witcher Old World is played in turns, starting from the first player and going clockwise around the table until someone has won the game. Each turn is broken into 3 phases, loosely laid out from left to right across the board. First is movement and actions. You'll move your Witcher around the board, taking location actions, completing quests, or gambling to earn money. Second is fight, meditate, or explore, where you must choose and resolve one of those 3, fighting a monster or another Witcher, meditating, or delving into the exploration decks. Third is draw and gain cards. You'll replenish your hand and then use those cards to gain new cards into your deck. The aim of the game is to get 4 trophies, and the first player to do so wins. There are 3 ways to gain a trophy. These are to attack and kill a monster, to attack and defeat another Witcher in combat, up to a maximum of once per opponent, or to max out and meditate on one of your attributes, as long as all of the trophy cards for that attribute haven't been snatched up by the other players. You can't win the game from a meditation trophy. Your final game-winning trophy must be from a fight. Your turn is played in 3 phases, and the first phase is movement and action. This phase is optional. First is movement. When you move, you can move to any city which is connected by a single path. That can be a land path or a dotted sea path, but not a river. To move, you must pay the cost. Normally this involves discarding a card from your hand which shows the terrain of your destination. This could include using a card with the wild icon. If you don't have the icon you need, then you can discard any card and pay an additional gold, or discard a second card to do the movement. You may then take actions in your destination. This may include taking the printed location action once, gambling to play dice poker against each other witcher in your destination, and completing any quests which are associated with that location that you've previously collected. You don't have to resolve any actions in your destination if you don't want to. After optionally resolving, you can repeat the whole process. Again, spend the cost to move, and then take the same combination of actions in your destination. You may repeat this process as many times as you'd like and can afford. You are allowed to return to the same destination more than once. However, you cannot take the same location action nor play dice poker against the same witcher more than once per turn. Critically, if you wish to take any of these actions, you must first move. If this player started a turn here, it would be necessary first to move away and then return in order to take this location action or play dice poker against this opponent. Once you've finished with moving and taking actions, or bypass that phase altogether if you want to, you move to phase 2, fight, meditate or explore. This phase is mandatory and you must choose one of these three options to resolve in your current location. This means you can fight against a monster or another witcher in that location, or meditate for a trophy if you've maxed out an attribute track, or draw and resolve a card from one of the exploration decks. The third phase is to draw and gain cards, and this phase is mandatory. Firstly, you may optionally discard any number of cards from your hand to your discard pile. Then, you must draw up until you have 3 cards in hand. If your draw deck is ever empty when you go to draw a card, then shuffle up your discard pile to become your new draw deck. You must now add 1 new card from the face-up market of 6 to your hand. The cost of each card is shown in its lower right corner, and for this phase is modified by whatever's printed on the board beneath it, down to a minimum of 0. The cost is paid by discarding cards from your hand to your discard pile. So a 0 cost card would be free. You would simply take the card and add it to your hand, giving you 4 cards for your next turn. For a 1 cost card, you would need to discard 1 card before adding this one to your hand. Alternatively, for this card at a total cost of 3, you'd discard your entire hand and have only this card in hand for your next turn. You'll now slide all cards as far to the right as they can go and replenish from the top of the deck. Players need money through the game, and one of the main ways of earning and generating that is to play dice poker against other witches. You can do this as part of your actions in phase 1, as long as you have at least 1 gold and you're in the same location as another witcher who also has at least 1 gold. Declare that you're playing dice poker. You must stake your 1 gold, and the opponent must play against you and also stake a gold. The opponent has no choice. A 3rd gold is added to the pot by the bank. Both players now take and simultaneously roll a set of poker dice. Having seen the results, the defending player may optionally re-roll any number of dice once. The attacking player may also optionally re-roll any number of dice once. Whoever has the higher hand wins and takes all 3 gold. In the event of a true tie, the win goes to the active player. Now we'll look at all the different printed location actions. This action here is to play dice poker against the game. This works in much the same way. You have to stake a coin, and then the bank will stake 2 coins into the pot. It's the player to your right who makes the roll and choices for the neutral player's hand. This icon lets you draw a potion. Draw the top card from the potion deck and place it face up below your player board. All players may hold at most 4 potions at a time, and if you ever draw a 5th, you must choose one to discard to get back down to 4. As we'll see later, potions can be spent for once-off abilities in the fights. With this action, you can improve your deck and hand by trashing a low-value card and gaining a new one. First, choose any 1 card from your hand that you wish to trash. Note its base value, here it's 0, and then return that card to the box. Then replace that card in your hand with any one card from the display whose base value is no higher than 1 point higher than the card you trashed. Here we trashed a 0, so you can gain any of the 1s or 0s. Ignore the phase 3 modifiers and replenish from the deck as usual. This location has 2 steps. Firstly, if you have no gold, gain 1 gold. You must then trash either 1 or 2 cards from the market, replenishing as usual. This action has 2 parts. First, gain 1 gold, and then second, start a trail quest. Trails in the game are all about getting information about the monsters. When you fight a monster, the monster will usually get to take the first turn in that combat. However, if you have a trail on that monster, that is, if you have some information, then you get to take the first turn. When you take a trail quest, choose one of the 3 monsters that you wish to trail. Let's say we pick the mountain monster. Randomly choose one of the location tokens which matches that monster's type and place it face up on your player board. If it matches your current location, then draw again. Now put a coin on top of this trail quest. What this action thematically means is that someone I've spoken to in location number 2 has told me about an informant they know in location number 11 who knows something about the monster in location number 9. At any later stage during a movement and actions phase, when you reach the location of your trail quest, you find out the information about the monster and complete the quest. You gain the coin which was on top of that quest token into your supply, now available to be spent, and flip the trail quest token over so it is now simply a trail token. It is this face down mountain token which represents the information you've learned about the mountain monster, which will let you take the first turn against that monster in combat. Trail quests are not the only way to gain trails, and if you're ever instructed to gain a trail, simply take the token of the trail you want and place it straight on its face down side. You may only hold, and would only need to hold, 1 trail per type at a time. Next we'll talk about the location actions you can use to increase the attributes of your Witcher, and there are 2 types. The school locations, which will show an icon like this, and the single attribute locations, which will show an icon like this. At a single attribute location, increase the matching attribute shown by 1 step for free. For defense and alchemy, you'll also gain the immediate reward next to the arrow. For alchemy, you'll draw 1 potion, and for defense, you'll increase your shield level by 1 step. Note as well, at any time, your maximum shield level is equal to your defense level. Anytime you increase an attribute such that all 4 of your attributes are above your Witcher level, you now immediately increase your Witcher level. This comes with the immediate bonus of drawing 1 or 2 cards from your deck. Attributes can go up and down, but your level will never go down, even if an attribute drops below. And this level places a key restriction on this type of action. That is, you may only use this location action if the attribute in question is equal to or below your current Witcher level. That means this type of location action won't help you specialize in a single attribute. If you want to advance more quickly on one specific attribute, you'll need to use the schools. A school location will let you pay to advance on any one of the 3 basic attributes, or the specialist attribute associated with that school. This, for example, is the yellow player's school, and so could be used to advance on the yellow player's specialty attribute. To advance an attribute at a school, pay gold equal to the level that you're advancing into. So advancing from level 4 to level 5, for example, would cost 5 gold. Once an attribute has reached level 5, it can never go down again for any reason. Reaching level 5 on an attribute is one of the ways to gain a trophy. Once you've done this, you can take the meditate option on your fight, meditate or explore phase of a turn. Note which attribute you've maxed out and find a trophy card of the matching attribute from this area beside the board. These are limited. There'll only be one per attribute in a 2 or 3 player game, or 2 per attribute at 4 or 5. Slot your new trophy underneath your player board. This comes with a special ongoing ability which you can use. Then move your marker one step up the trophy track and suffer fatigue, that is, trash a number of cards from your hand, deck or discard pile as shown next to the step you've taken. Then reshuffle all of your cards into a new deck. Remember that you cannot trigger victory from a meditation trophy. If you meditated in this position, you would still take the trophy and get its ongoing effect, but you would not move up on the trophy track. On any turn where you neither fight nor meditate, you must explore, and you must choose either to explore the city in your location, in which case you'll draw a grey card, or explore the wilds around your city, in which case you'll draw a green card. Exploring offers a story and a choice. Give the card to the player on your right who will read out the story and then the options you have available. You must choose either A or B, and if the card includes a cost as part of one of the options, then you must be able to pay the cost to choose that option. The player with the card then reads the option you've chosen and you'll resolve its effect. In some cases, the effect will have you roll a die, providing some randomness to the outcome. If the card refers to a quest, then the player who drew the card takes it and places it face up in a tableau beside the player board. The quest will either name a specific location where it occurs, or will name a type of location, in which case take one of the matching location tile types and flip it face up. When you move into that location on a future move and actions phase, you may resolve the quest. If a quest or exploration card refers to this book with a number, then hunt through and take the specific numbered card from the event deck. These will often give you further stories or choices to make, but in some cases, these will give you companions or equipment cards which remain face up in your tableau for as long as you keep them. On phase 2 of your turn, you may choose to fight another Witcher at your location, as long as you're not at a school location, not at the location with the closed tavern token, and you have not faced that Witcher at dice poker this turn. The active player is the attacker for this fight, and has the opportunity to claim a trophy from the defender. The defender does not have that opportunity and is merely trying to deprive the attacker of that trophy. To prepare for battle, both players shuffle their discard pile and draw deck together into a single deck which is known as their life pool for this battle. Any cards which were in hand remain in hand. It is each player's aim to drain their opponent's entire life pool and hand so that they have no cards left anywhere but in discard. Anyone who's not in the fight may place a 1 gold wager on either the attacker or defender. The two combatants will now alternate taking fight turns, starting with the attacker. A player's fight turn has 4 steps. First, use potions, specialties and effects. Second, play a combo. Third, resolve a combo. And fourth, draw cards. First is use potions, specialties and effects. If you have any potions, then you may spend any number of them on one turn by discarding them and resolving the effect in text, up to a maximum of your alchemy level for the entire fight. So here I'm at alchemy 2. On any given turn I could spend 0, 1 or 2 potions, but the total across the whole fight cannot go higher than 2. The specialty part of this step refers to your specialty attribute. And again, this will be different for each player. The effects part of this step comes from anything else you may have in your tableau. For example, if you've collected equipment, you may choose to resolve its once per fight effect. The second step is to play a combo, which means playing any legal sequence of cards out of your hand face up onto the table. A combo can be any number of cards, and there are no restrictions on the first card you play. If you wish to play another card into the combo, you must look at these coloured tabs to the right-hand side of the main coloured bar, and the card you add to the combo must match one of the tabs from the card that preceded it. You can play as many cards into a combo as you can legally place in this way. At this point, I would not be able to play this red card into the combo, so I would simply retain it in hand. The third step is to resolve the combo, and you'll look at all of the icons which are activated within this combo. This means anything in the main coloured bar and anything in a combo tab which is comboed with the card in front of it. That means this damage icon is active, this damage icon is active, but this purple damage icon is not, and this blue double damage also is not. The first icon to resolve is damage. Count up your total damage, so here it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for each damage, your opponent loses 1 shield level, and if not possible, discards 1 card from the top of the life pool deck, and if still not possible, discards 1 card from hand. If you have any draw discard icons active, then draw the top card from your discard pile back into your hand. If you have any shield icons active, then increase your own shield level 1 step for each, up to a maximum of your defense level. If you have a retrieve this card icon active, then pick that card up out of your combo and return it to your hand. Finally, proceed to the draw cards step. You'll draw a number of cards equal to the number printed next to your combat level, plus or minus any of these modifiers in your combo. So in this case, you would draw 1, 2, 3 cards. You have a maximum hand limit of 7 and stop drawing if you reach 7. Then discard any remaining cards from your combo in the order you played them. Play now passes to the other player, who resolves a fight turn in exactly the same way. The fight ends when, at the end of a fight turn, one player has no cards remaining either in hand or deck. That player has lost and the opponent is the winner. If both meet that condition on the same fight turn, then whosever fight turn it was is the winner. If the attacker was the winner, then the attacker wins a trophy from the defender, as long as that player does not already have one of those trophies. Slide it under the board. As for a meditation trophy, this will give an ongoing effect. And advance on the trophy track, suffering fatigue as we saw before. The winner of the fight, and all other players who correctly wagered on the winner of the fight, gains coins equal to the position of the loser on the trophy track. Any incorrect wagers are lost. The loser of the fight must gain a 0 valued card to their discard pile, and must hunt through the deck to find one if none are available. Reset both players' shield levels to match their defense levels, and shuffle all deck, hand, and discard pile back into a single deck. As shown in this table here, the defending player draws a new hand of 4 cards for a victory or 3 cards for a defeat. The attacker simply redraws as part of the normal phase 3 and draws 1 fewer card for a defeat or the normal amount for a victory. Finally, place or move the closed tavern marker to the tavern where the fight took place. In phase 2, when you share a location with a monster, you may choose to fight that monster. The Witcher's life pool is set up the same way as it is for a Witcher versus Witcher fight. Other players cannot wager on a Witcher versus monster fight. For the monster, shuffle up the 20 red monster fight cards and create a life pool equal in size to the numbers shown on the monster's card. The player to the attacking Witcher's right will control the monster and must take note of any special abilities on the monster's card. The monster will take the first fight turn unless you have the matching trail token, in which case you will go first. When the Witcher deals damage to the monster, simply discard that many cards from the top of the monster's life pool deck. When it is the monster's fight turn, have any one of the Witcher's opponents choose whether the monster is going to charge or bite, and then flip the card face up. Resolve either the charge or the bite half of the card, and then discard the card. These mostly deal damage, but in some cases will reduce your attributes. As usual, the fight will end when one or both of the sides has no more cards remaining in life pool. To win, the Witcher must empty the monster's life pool and have at least one card remaining. Then the Witcher gains 2 coins, then takes and flips the monster card as a trophy, and advances on the trophy track. You'll then respawn this monster, take back its location token, as well as all trail tokens and trail quests that any player has on that monster. The only matching location tokens which aren't retrieved are those on non-trail quests. Now draw a replacement monster. In the 4 or 5 player game only, you will have been instructed in setup to set aside 1 or more extra level 1 monsters, and if this stack is not exhausted, you'll draw the next monster from that pile and find its matching card. If that pile is empty or you're playing with 3 or fewer players, then take a monster of the next level up from the one that was defeated. And if a level 3 monster was defeated, draw another level 3. Randomly draw a matching location tile for the new monster and place the hexagonal token into that location. If the Witcher runs out of life, and the monster has 1 or 0 life cards remaining, then the Witcher does not win, but the monster is driven away. This replaces the normal tie-breaking for a Witcher versus Witcher fight when both Witchers run out of life on the same turn. When this happens, you gain 2 gold, but you don't gain a trophy. And you must gain a 0-cost card from the market to your discard pile. Then discard the monster that you've driven away and spawn a new monster of the same level. At 4 or 5 players, this comes from the remaining supply, not the stack you set aside in setup. If your life pool runs out and the monster has 2 or more cards remaining, then you lose outright. You've gained useful information about the monster, so gain a trail token if you didn't already have one. And then add a 0-cost card to your discard pile before shuffling it and moving to phase 3, where you'll draw 1 fewer card than you normally would. This table reminds you of these rewards and penalties. The game ends immediately when one player gains a fight trophy to move up to the top step of the trophy track, and that player is the winner. And that's how to play The Witcher Old World. We hope you enjoyed this video.
Thank you so much for watching. Everything you do will help us. Every single view, every time you like our video, our Instagram, every single comment, and let us know that you're there. Make sure you're doing something fun today. See you next time.